There's a kind of silence that only men who've been ignored truly know. It's the silence of giving everything and still not being enough. The silence of trying to become the man she wanted and forgetting who you were in the process. And it's right there, in that moment, where respect is born. Because respect doesn't begin with love. It begins with the awareness of your own pain. When a man finally understands that love is not about giving until you disappear, but about staying whole even when the world breaks you apart, something shifts inside him. He stops being needy and becomes present. And every woman respects the presence of a man who doesn't beg to be seen, but who, even in silence, is impossible to ignore.
Every woman tests the man beside her, not out of cruelty, but instinct. She needs to know if you can lead your own path, or if you'll lose yourself at the first glance she gives you. She tests your ego, your patience, your silence, your focus, and every reaction is an answer. When you react with anger, she sees a boy. When you stay silent out of fear, she sees weakness. But when you remain calm, when your words are few, but your energy is unshakable, she feels it. She feels she's standing in front of a man who masters himself. And the truth is simple. No one respects a man who can't control himself. Self-control is the loudest sound a man can make because his silence echoes like power.
There's something sacred about a man who speaks little. Because the man who learned the weight of words also learned the value of silence. And that silence, it makes people uncomfortable. Because silence reveals what others try to hide with noise. A silent man isn't cold. He's deep. He watches. He understands. He feels. And when he finally decides to speak, the world listens because every word carries intention. A woman can be attracted to many men, but she admires the one who speaks less and delivers more. Respect is born when your words have weight and your silence has meaning.
A man without direction is a man exposed, and a woman feels it. She feels when you live reacting to the world instead of creating your own. Nothing kills respect faster than a man without purpose, because purpose is the spine of masculinity. When you know where you're going, you stop chasing distractions. You stop chasing attention. You become the attention. A man with vision doesn't need to be the richest, the smartest, or the most handsome. He just needs to wake up every morning and walk in the same direction. Because while others talk, he builds. And every woman respects the man who builds even in silence. There's a betrayal that no one sees, but it destroys you from within. It's the betrayal of a man against himself. When you say yes just to avoid conflict, when you stay quiet to keep the peace, you kill something sacred inside you, and respect dies with it. Because the man who isn't loyal to what he feels becomes a shadow of what he could have been. A woman may love you, but she'll never admire you if she senses you're pretending to survive. The loyalty that truly attracts is the loyalty a man has to his own truth. When he looks in the mirror and says, "I know who I am. I don't need to shrink for anyone." In that moment, he stops being ordinary and becomes real.
Respect also lives in calmness. In the middle of chaos, while everyone's shouting, the man who breathes and smiles has already won. Because calm isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. A woman looks at that kind of man and feels something different: safety. She knows she can be the storm because he is the ground. And there's no greater admiration than the one born from peace, held in strength.
But there's a kind of man who's not only respected, he's remembered. He's the man who inspires. The man who doesn't talk about change, he becomes it. The man who doesn't demand admiration, he naturally awakens it. He doesn't live to impress, he lives to evolve. And a woman feels it. She feels when she's in front of a man who doesn't need her love to be whole, but who still chooses to love with depth. That's the kind of man a woman respects even when love fades. Because real respect doesn't come from romance, it comes from greatness.
In the end, respect isn't about domination. It's about inspiration. And to inspire, you must first respect yourself. Be the man who doesn't beg, who doesn't explain, who doesn't need to be seen, to be felt. Be the man whose silence carries power and whose eyes carry peace. Because once you reach that point, no woman will ever see you as a pastime. She'll see you as a reference, and respect becomes inevitable.
Before you leave, remember this: respect and admiration are never demanded. They're earned every single day. If you felt this message, subscribe and stay close. Because here, we talk about the kind of man you were always meant to become.